So yeah, this week on the VHS and Memories, we watched Commando. It's VHS and Memories. I don't have any memories as a kid from watching this because I never watched it as a kid. It's Commando with Arnold. It came out in 1985. Yeah, it says a retired special force colonel tries to save his daughter who was abducted by his former subordinate, starring Arnold. Yeah, did you watch this movie back in the day? I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, like, I know I've seen it, but I have not seen it since the most likely the late 80s because it was probably on pay TV when I was a kid and watched it. But yeah, I have very little memory of this movie from when it was like first on. So,
Totally. Well, first opinions, like I said, the credits rolled and he was just with his daughter and she was like they were doing all this stuff together and had that horrible like jazz or trumpet or I'm not a music person. I don't know what it was, but it was like almost like I don't know, man. It almost seems like weird. I was just like, and then he was with the daughter so much and they're doing karate and stuff. I was just like, oh, I hate this.
yeah, the whole
Hated it.
setup of him, like them forcing the how close him and his daughter are down our throats with the vignettes of like sharing a milkshake and the one that got me was them feeding the deer.
Mhm.
Like when why like that's just doesn't ever happen to anybody. Why is it them that's supposed to represent how close he is with his daughter? I mean,
Mhm.
that's the setup for like what happens later, right? Like, oh, look,
Yeah.
it's him and his daughter, and they're so close, and
Like so close. Like he's like I know it's like you sexualizing it, but it was just weird. Like he's shirtless with the axe and chopping wood, and he thinks that someone's sneaking up on him. He grabs the daughter. I'm just like I was like, dude, like what?
yeah, no, I know, yeah, and I just and she's how are they even trying to insinuate that that's his daughter? I mean, like
Right?
he's got this thick, like Austrian accent, and she's just some like
American
American,
Girl.
like early teens American girl, like,
Yeah.
and it never established where the wife or where the her mother is.
Yeah, it's one of the ones where they don't even touch on like where the mom is at all.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't matter.
And like, okay, I don't understand the beginnings to like why did the people roll up in a dump truck and shoot that guy?
Okay, well, this is this is why I had to take notes because this is the most like, how it says on IMDb. A retired special forces colonel tries to save his daughter, who was abducted by his former subordinate. Okay, that's the plot, but the way that they get through the plot in this movie is so convoluted. Yeah, so the guys roll up, these two dudes, bad guys, obviously. They roll up in a garbage truck and shoot that one guy, and then
Hmm.
they what did they do? The guy went into the auto dealership and then ran over that other guy, and then the two bad dudes went and blew up that fishing boat,
Hmm.
and then Arnie. So what that is those are all Arnie's old like men that he used to serve with,
Hmm. Hmm.
and they were being killed so that Arnie, realized that someone was coming after him.
Hmm.
So the bad guys had leverage to convince him to do that thing that they wanted him to do. Like and it was this another former uh, guy who served with him, who was the like it's so convoluted. I just there's it bothered me so much how they just it took 40 minutes for me to figure out exactly what was going on in this movie.
Well, I just like it's just so vague. I was like, but why are they rolling up and taking the kid, right? Like, I was just like, and all these people are getting shot, and I was just like, it's just like I didn't know who the hell they were. Like, why are they taking his kid and telling him to do a job? Like,
Hmm.
I
Well, yeah,
couldn't get it. Like, I was
I'm
just so shocked and confused.
it was totally confusing. That's why I took so many notes because it was just I was like, what's happening? Like, how am I supposed to explain in a review or like talking about watching this movie if it's that complicated of a plot. Like,
Yeah.
it's literally like the guy who's used to serve with Arnie. Okay, it's, oh my God,
But
it's
what
just,
happens? Like he goes back to that. He's like back at the house, and like at the beginning, I guess, right? And he
yeah.
sees someone rolling up, and then they storm his whole place. Like, or
Yeah, I mean
or no, yeah, it's so
the
weird.
well, that's the thing. The helicopter comes in, and so it's that Rambo scenario where
Mm-hmm.
Arnie's not serving in the military anymore.
Mm-hmm.
He's retired. He's not having any of it. He's just gonna
Mm-hmm.
sit at home with his daughter and pet a fucking deer.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. But uh, so in and so Arnold's commander pulls up and says, "Your old men are being killed."
Mm-hmm.
And Arnold's like, "Oh, what's happening? I don't know why this would be happening." And so that sets up the next bit when the bad guys show up in the
Cottage.
his cottage out in the desert somewhere. But like the colonel leaves two men with Arnold to guard him because like, they don't want Arnold to get killed as well, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So the colonel guy flies away, or not the colonel, the major probably flies away, and then immediately somebody tries to kill Arnold and the two soldiers, but then you realize that they're not trying to kill him because they are trying to capture him to do a mission for somebody else. So at no point was Arnold's life in danger in any of this in the beginning.
And then they I just remember they fight out, they capture him, and they capture like his kid. They got his kid at one point tied up in a chair.
Mm-hmm.
And they had them both captured at that house or something for a bit. They have Arnold tied down, I remember,
right?
And stuff. And that guy, that comedian guy, like the main one of the bosses or whatever, like he's from. Do you ever watch Night at the Roxbury? That guy's dad.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they got him tied up in that place, and they got the kid tied up, and then what? Like he escapes from being tied up right away, right, or something. Like it's so weird in that house.
Well, yeah, or does he escape or does he just agree? They show him his daughter tied up, and then they're like, okay, what? This is why it's so complicated, because then there's that like South American dictator guy, and the guy who used to serve with Arnold. That's John Matrix. That's Arnold's name in the movie, which is absolutely absurd at that, Totally. But yeah, so what it is that Arnold's old military buddy Bennett, this bad guy with a bad Australian accent, Bennett is working for this South American dictator that got deposed because of something Arnold did back in the military. So now the Bennett, the bad guy, wants Arnold to go back down and kill the new dictator down there so the old dictator can get back into power. And this is why, I mean, like, I'm just like listening to this as it's happening, and I'm just like, why is this even, like, they need this much plot in order to get Arnold into, like, have Arnold have a bunch of machine guns and shoot people? But
I could not, like, I kind of got that they're setting him up to do that, but I did not understand all that political part and like just how I did not know, like, there's a guy wearing like a chain vest, like a chain
that's Bennett.
Vest.
That's
okay, that's Bennett.
That's the Bennett guy who's like, and he's like, all right, John Matrix, you're gonna go down and kill the president of this South American tin pot country, and this old president's going to get back into power, and we have your daughter.
So you have to surrender to us at that point when they got him tied up.
So
and then he goes to like the airport with that like walking Phoenix wannabe kind of guy and that black guy. I was like, that walking Phoenix guy, like.
Oh, for sure. But I mean, this is like at least that's where the plot actually starts to thin out, because it's like when they get him, like he's going to be flown down to this South American place to go assassinate the president of this place, and the flight's 11 hours. So he, when he's pushed, he gets taken onto an airplane. The big black guy's with him.
Yeah, the other guy, the Walking Phoenix guy, stays at the airport.
Yeah, as to carry the plot forward when the next thing happens.
Yeah, because they don't have cell phones. He's got to use a payphone to be like, the job's been done or whatever, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm surprised he didn't send a telegram like that.
Yeah, I know. This is pre-pager, I'm guessing, too, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, it was pre-everything.
Pre-Facebook.
Yeah, exactly. But
when they roll in the airport. But yeah, so, yeah, he's on the plane just with that black guy.
Yeah.
That's like kind of like trying to be like the muscle, because he is bigger than Arnold, like, well, at least stand like height-wise. So like, he's trying to like muscle him on there, kind of like make sure Arnold doesn't try anything sneaky or something, right?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's like they've got his daughter, so they've got him right where they want him. So every time Arnold says something, they're like, yeah, we're gonna, you got this much time, you got to do this job, or we're gonna kill your daughter. So immediately as soon as he gets on the plane, like,
for that blanket stuff. That's too funny.
Yeah, no, he's totally like figured this out right away.
Yeah, I know, right?
And kills the guy that he's with before they've even taxied onto the runway. The guy's dead.
Yeah.
And like, pre 9/11, this shows what it's like
he did any of this on a plane?
Yeah. Kills the guy, and then goes and just walks down and like somehow gets down into the cargo bay of the plane as it's on the runway, and and jumps off the plane. Goes down into the wheel well of the plane and jumps off as the plane's taking off.
I know. The one thought, like, did he know that swamp was there or what? Like,
no.
Okay.
This is the thing. At no point, like, nowhere is like nothing's thought out in this. It's like,
no.
And I mean, like, the plane's going 200 miles an hour. I don't really think he'd drop straight down into a swamp.
No,
he'd be moving forward at 200 miles an hour as he jumped off that plane. He would have skipped like a rock across that water, and probably broken every bone in his body. But that's
barely like he just like, it looked like he just like lightly fell to off there.
Yeah, straight down. That's what got me. So
straight down.
My version was broken at that point, but
Yeah, I know, and then like he realizes, there's no cell phones, people don't see the news, like, you know what I mean? Like he's like got how many hours to save his kid?
11.
Before the plane lands in another country. So yeah, he's got 11 hours. That's the setup.
That's the whole setup for everything that happens in the movie. It's all based on his watch.
Mm-hmm.
So
Timex, baby.
Oh yeah, you bet. Yeah. I don't understand. Like whenever he looks at it, it makes a beep for every second that goes by. Beep, 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 and you think, well, it's not beeping all the time, is it? This isn't. I'm not sure a watch does that, but
a second beeper.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then like what? Like he kind of like he gets out of he runs out of the swamp. He kind of ducks down in case that like Walking Phoenix guy is like trying to spot him, I guess, or something.
Well,
is that why he acted all like deekish, deeking?
Well, he didn't want Walking Phoenix guy to see him because if he did, then he'd phone and tell the Bennett that John Matrix isn't on the plane, and they just kill his daughter. So he has to be like on the down low, and he knows he's got to get this other guy to find out where his daughter is. So he's got to like stealth his way, run across the runway. No one sees him do that because it's just a big Austrian dude running across a runway at an international airport.
Yeah,
but
like
it's 1985.
If it was 2002, ooh,
or 82. So
yeah, if it was so it gets all the swamp, and I remember there's another part too, like with something with the people on a boat with her shaking up the girl that I thought was weird too. After that scene, like after he jumps out of the plane, like they cut to what's his name in the Chain Metal and that other actor, that comedian, and they got the
Right.
kid, and she's all rattled up in her whatever that's called, the suspenders or
Yeah,
whatever it is.
yeah, in her coveralls.
Coveralls, yeah, and she's getting all. It's just weird.
No, I know,
Got the
and
kid. It's like,
it's that's the thing, is that every moment that they have to keep pushing this plot line forward that is just the stupidest plot, but they're keep reinforcing it. Like, yeah, they were in the boat there with Alyssa Milano, the girl,
Mhm.
and the comedian guy, and Bennett, and yeah, they're like, do you think he's going to do the mission? And, Bennett's there. Yeah, he'll do the mission, because if he doesn't, he thinks we're going to kill his daughter. And they're like, oh, well, but, does he know that we're just going to kill him afterwards anyway? And he's like,
Mhm.
he'll do it anyway because he thinks that his daughter's going to be killed if he doesn't. It's just like reinforcing like their relationship of Bennett and the Tin Pot dictator and stuff. They keep having to hammer it home to us because just to kind of reinforce the fact that there's actually a plot in this.
Yeah, and the whole part too, like that creepy Walking Phoenix wannabe, like he's like talks to what's the black girl's name? Do you know her name in the
Oh, that's
movie
Ray
is?
Dawn Chong, but in the movie, I don't. What's her
Yeah,
name? Cindy in the movie.
Sydney. So yeah, Sydney. Like he's talking to Sydney, like that phone booth or something, right? Trying to hit on her, and
Yeah, that's
then
the thing. I mean, it's in 1982, so this guy's a creep.
yeah, every man's a creep.
Just,
Yeah.
yeah, he just starts hitting on this what, she's like a flight attendant, just
Hmm.
hitting on her for no reason, follows her to her car,
Right.
but Arnie's there. Little do they know, Arnie's
Arnie's
there.
trailing them. Yeah.
Yeah, Arnie's trailing them, and then
Yeah, they're in
he
the underground parking lot, and he like rolls up on her car and like pulls that seat out. He pulls the whole seat out of her car.
yeah, Arnie pulls the seat out to
Yeah,
get, and then says, follow the creepy dude.
yeah, yeah.
Who's Joaquin Phoenix, who's driving away in his Porsche, and I'm like, okay, this is
Is
great.
that actually Walking Phoenix or no? That's
No,
not
no, no,
right.
no,
Okay,
it's
thank
not.
God. Like I thought I was
Oh, no,
freaking.
no, no, no. Joaquin
Yeah,
Phoenix
yeah,
wasn't even
no.
born then.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, thank God. And then that guy's he's going to a mall to meet someone, that Walking Phoenix guy. Like,
Yeah, well, so yeah, they follow the creepy guy, Joaquin Phoenix dude, the other the other bad guy, to a mall because he's doing some kind of shady transaction where he's buying passports from this
yeah,
guy in a
Sully.
public place. Sully, that's his name.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah. In a public place, that guy's selling. What was he selling?
he's buying passports, like fake passports, and
Oh.
so you see him like pass the passports under the
Hmm.
table, and then the briefcase of cash, presumably, and then but then that's where it all goes bad. This is
Yeah.
where the
Well, and
action
Arnold, like,
starts.
he tells Sydney to go in there, and he like rips her shirt open too. Like, how like people would be so upset over that too nowadays. Like, open up
Well,
your shirt.
yeah, well, it was a different time,
Hmm.
so you know.
Yeah, the misogyny in this is great.
Oh,
He's you need to seduce him or whatever. Bring him out here.
yeah.
And she kind of goes in there, but she rats on Arnold or whatever. She says like he's a crazy guy. He's after me.
Yeah, yeah. She tells the rent-a-cop security mall dudes that,
Mhm.
like, oh, I've been kidnapped by a giant, muscle-bound crazy man and told to, do this, that, and the other, because Arnold's like had told her, like, these guys are doing something, have my daughter held captive. You go in and distract him, and I'll do the rest. And she's like, no, I'm gonna fink on you, Arnold, and even though your daughter might get killed, I'm gonna fink on you. So yeah, so I mean, and that's when things start
Oh
looking
yeah, like
bad.
she pushes that cop down a flight of steps. Like, wouldn't that be like? I'm pretty sure that's a felony charge.
Well,
No one's held for accountability in this movie. I noticed.
oh
Like,
no,
there's so
no.
many felony charges going through. Like this, like it puts that woman in so much danger.
Oh yeah, no, I know. And she
So,
just kind of Stockholm syndrome, kind of like, oh, I'm gonna help you do this now, all of a
mhm,
sudden, like.
mhm,
But yeah, so yeah, that Sully guy spots him in the mall arguing with the rent-a-cops,
mhm.
and he has to, of course, run to a payphone.
Yeah, he runs into that payphone.
Yeah. So
Because he
Arnold.
wants to call the people. He's like, he's alive. And then
Yeah.
Arnold rips the thing right out of the ground, the
Yeah.
payphone, the whole
Yeah.
stand, and
Yeah.
just chucks it. Yeah.
Yeah. And this precipitates the inevitable car chase
Yeah.
that transpires
Yeah. And Arnold knocks out like 20 more cops. I'm sure that's
at
double
once.
felonies. Yeah.
Like,
That other guy, doesn't he like fall? Like, is that the guy that gets shot? He like falls or something? Is that the guy that was selling the passports? Did you catch
oh
that?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Because I thought, was it that guy? I couldn't figure that out.
Yeah, well, this is the thing: is that this movie is so convoluted that like it makes other action movies look like just like there's no plot because there's just so much plot happening in this movie that's just stupid. Like it doesn't need to be in there, but yeah, it was a different time.
Yeah, and like yeah, when they're fighting in the mall, he like grabs on that thing and like swings like Tarzan, like as
Yeah,
like trying to get out of the mall. That was pretty cool.
yeah, that was all right. That was all right.
It's funny. Yeah. And I guess yeah, I don't understand how she gets back with him in the car though, like after they're outside the mall. I don't
Well,
really.
he goes and steals her car because that guy, the Sully guy, takes off. He gets down into his car and takes off, and so Arnold steals her car, and she's just out there on the street, like she flags him down and like says, "No, no, no, you're not going anywhere without me."
Mhm.
And so he stupidly lets her in the car, like why
Yeah,
he
she
would
has
do.
a horrible rant. I thought her rant in the car, like, yeah, this shit. I was just like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, she was the comic relief of this situation, and why he let her go along, I don't know. He
I know he
should,
puts her in so much danger. Like
yeah.
the whole movie, like she caught like 30 felonies in this movie because of him.
At least.
Hmm. Like trespassing, like she got someone like shot or like yeah, knocked a
Oh,
cop down a flight of steps and stuff. Like
oh, yeah. No, she's
yeah,
complicit in everything that goes wrong.
speeding. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it gets worse
yeah,
later on, right?
yeah.
But yeah. So I mean, car chase with
Hmm.
chasing Sully through the streets. Completely like just not even a great car chase, to be honest.
Right? Yeah, it was actually very. I don't even know how they lost him. I can't remember, but I mean, it was very just blah. Like yeah, they tried to make it intense and with her blabbering, but I was just like, I'm over this. I thought like
Hmm.
at this point, oh, it's too corny. This movie, I can't believe. Now I know why I didn't see it as a kid, probably because like my family probably didn't like it or something, you know?
Yeah, no, it's really corny, but yeah, I mean, it did the job in the era that it was made. This is exactly the kind of movie that needed to be in
Hmm.
the theater, right?
Hmm.
But yeah, so I mean, inevitably, like Arnold catches that Sully guy, flips
Hmm.
his Porsche over, and after a pretty weak car chase,
Totally. Yeah.
and
Yeah. Like I said, I barely remember him tipping. Now that you said it, I remember it, but that's it.
yeah, and says a couple of witty one-liners to him as he's trying to get information out of him, hanging him off a cliff.
Oh yeah, that was the best part. Yeah, he's got him. Yeah, on the cliff, like holding him up by one leg, because he told them earlier. He was like, "You'll be the last one I kill," or something. They turned
Yeah,
out
yeah, yeah,
first.
exactly. Yeah, he, that was the thing because
Hmm.
he's everything precipitates Arnold's one-liners in this. Like
Yeah.
they're all set up and they all are paid off because it's all there is in this movie.
Yeah. No, they were setting up so many one-liners in this movie. Like, I lied or whatever. Like it
Yeah,
was just
yeah,
like,
yeah,
yeah, like.
yeah. So I mean,
The one
another.
they said something to the black guy though on the plane that was so funny. I can't remember what he said, but he like just how the one guy said something like, "Do you got any baggage with you or something?" And he's like, "Oh, just this guy," or I don't know what he
Yeah,
said, but
yeah,
it's so
yeah. That's
funny.
what he said. Yeah, no, it
Mhm.
was pretty good. It was pretty
Yeah,
good.
some of the delivery was great. I was like, that's the best part.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think like after that car chase scene, it shows like what's his name in the vest again? What's that guy's name?
So, Bennett.
Bennett, yeah, and like he's got that kid by her arm, and it's just like the weirdest stuff. They're dragging around this like kid, you know. I don't know. They lock her up, don't they, or something in a
Yeah, that's
room?
right. That's right. Yeah, they bring her to some kind of a compound, and you don't know where it is, but they lock her up in this kind of
glam
mansion that has
Yeah.
no furniture in it for some reason in some
Mhm.
parts, and they
Mhm.
lock her in the room, and then that's pretty well the last you see of that
Thank God.
till
Yeah,
yeah.
I
So
was getting over it pretty quickly.
oh yeah,
This is what the movie's really about at the end of the day. Like they took the kid, he was gonna go after, he wants his kid back, but it's just I've seen so many other movies that this is done better.
yeah, and it's the just everything like driving it forward is just him checking his watch. It's
Hmm.
like I've got 11 hours, so I've dropped the one guy off the cliff. I've
Hmm.
taken the hotel key out of his pocket, so I know where he's staying. So that means I can go there
Hmm.
for in the next step to try and figure out where my daughter is.
Yeah, the hotel key that he got from that guy, that was, yeah, if you didn't catch that,
No,
you
I
had no
know.
idea how he got there.
No, exactly. And it was like so quick.
Hmm. It's like I got it already, the information.
Yeah. Flip, and then he drives to the hotel, and then it carries on from there. And like, so they're at the hotel, and big black guy, he shows up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. Like, how did? Yeah, yeah. And he's
They're
like,
both staying
and
in
they,
that
yeah, and he,
hotel.
like it
So
makes her like, I swear, he, like, doesn't he like open her blouse again or something? I don't know. She keeps like, he's just
yeah,
playing this woman up as a sex idol. Like,
yeah. Well, he just wants to just
he's like,
use her as a distraction. Guy doesn't know that Sully's been dropped off the cliff.
that's right.
So he's like,
Hmm.
"Where's Sully? Oh, he's in the shower," she says, as Arnold pushes her towards the door with her shirt open, because she's supposed to be, I don't know,
Maid. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
or a
actually, yeah.
prostitute or some,
Yeah, she says maid, but yeah, so obviously he thinks it's a prostitute, right? Yeah.
yeah. And then a really crummy
Fight
uh,
scene.
fight scene happens.
I know, and they get knocked into that other room with that woman. That couple's like having sex or something, and like,
That's right.
yeah, it's like the woman. Yeah, it was just so ridiculous,
Yeah,
so
well,
80s.
yeah. That's what made the movie an R rating, I think, was
Hmm.
that scene. Like,
Yeah, because they show that woman topless and stuff. It's
yeah,
like, that's what the kids are waiting for, or
yeah.
whoever.
Oh no, for sure, for sure. That's right.
But
And yeah, so I mean, and then the only reason Arnold ends up killing the big black guy by throwing him through a table leg or something like that.
yeah,
And,
they get into a tussle. He's shooting the gun in that
oh
apartment,
yeah, that's
endangering
right.
that woman even more.
Yeah, that's right. She's ducked behind like a low wall, and this
Yeah,
guy's shooting a revolver around the
yeah,
room.
yeah. Cougar Magnum.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the worst, and she's just ducking and looking shocked at this whole affair. Like,
I know.
I can't believe this is happening. Like, yeah, no, I'd be out of there. No,
I know,
she's
and he's dead. Like now, she's like, isn't that some sort of like she's involved at least in a murder or
Oh no, yeah, no, she's accessory to murder at that
Mhm.
point. So
Right?
yeah, that was terrible.
Then where's it go from there again? Like he
So
leaves
yeah,
that
yeah,
apartment.
that's right. He leaves the hotel and nobody's heard the gunshots. No, the
I know that
naked
no
people
one's
next
called.
door. No one said anything.
If they
They're
do, they don't have a cell phone or a quarter
yeah,
to get to
yeah.
anyone.
No, so they go and steal the black guy's Cadillac, and it's like first they rummage through the Cadillac's glove compartment and trunk, trying to figure out where the daughter is, right, or where to go, and there's just a receipt for buildings down on the dock near, and the only reason why they know that this receipt has anything to do with the Bennett and the Tin Pot Dictator is because she's an airline stewardess or whatever, and she knows that where the address on the receipt she finds is near a bunch of warehouses down by the dock. So
Yeah.
like she knows she's putting this all together. Arnold's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, she is the missing link, but I couldn't really understand how he knew to go to that dock after. I was like, did I miss something? I did not see the receipt part at all.
yeah, so yeah, she did all the explaining there. So yeah, so they drive the Cadillac down there, and Arnie jumps the fence. He drives right to the right warehouse, of course, because jumps the fence, rips some corrugated metal off of a building, and goes inside and sees like a bunch of jeeps and military equipment and guns and stuff. And this is all the stuff that's the Tin Pot Dictator, is using to take over for the coup in the country where Arnold's supposed to be going to kill the. I mean, it's like, oh my God, and yeah, I
I
mean,
know it was too much for this movie. Like,
I
what
know
the
it's too much for this movie. Exactly. Like I picked this movie because I thought, okay, Arnold's gonna have a gun at some point. He's gonna go killing some people. I don't know why. And when I'm finding out why as I'm watching it, I'm like, holy cow, why did I pick this movie?
Well, yeah, no, I was like, I just wondered, like, I wondered if you thought it was that bad or like, it just, I was like shocked at like how, yeah, I guess how bad it played out. Too much information, not enough like, explanation, like.
Well, yeah, I mean, they just kind of like, it just kept hammering home this like why the she's been kidnapped and why he has to do this and why Bennett is even involved in any of this. They just kept talking about it all the time. Like it's like the most important thing is like Arnold's watch, not that, you know, I don't need details about why this ex-dictator needs to get back into power and how many like men he has and how important he is, and like you don't need to. I didn't know there was this much stuff going on in this movie.
Yeah, I know. And Arnold, like, he just jumps on like doing longitudes and latitudes on a map like instantly. I'm guessing it's the army, but it's just like he's like, I think it's this island and stuff, you know.
No, well, for sure. Yeah, he sneaks into the military base. He just jumps over a fence and climbs in the thing and sneaks into the base that's hidden in a hangar or a warehouse that he literally finds because of the woman he's captured, and finds the room with the maps in it, and figures out. She climbs in the window, doesn't she?
Yeah, like he lets her in. He's like, he tells her like something like, "Come back," like, or look up for a signal, and then he like gets her in there.
Right, and then there's a bunch of maps, and he's like, okay, we got to look around and figure out where they are. Where's all this military equipment going? So she sees what happens. She knows that there's an island, and then they like you said, there's latitude and longitude written down, and he figures out. He grabs a ruler and a protractor and a crayon, and he figures out. He's like, oh, there must be something happening on this island, and she's like, well, 2 docks down, there's a place where they have seaplanes now, and seaplanes take a certain kind of gas, and a certain kind of gas. It takes 2 hours to fly to this island on a seaplane, and the refueling dock is 2 docks down. And it's like you're listening to this, and it's like, why is this happening? Like, why is this woman like just happened to know everything that is helping Arnold out? And at that point, I was just like, you're joking. Like,
yeah, I know. She was too like, it just felt like too forced and not real. And yeah, she had all this information. She knew like all this stuff, and yeah, it's just random.
It's completely. And it's like, okay, so there's probably a seaplane down at this dock, 2 docks down or whatever. And he's like, yeah, okay, so we've got to get down there. And what are we gonna do when we get there? They don't even know there's a plane there.
I know.
This is the thing.
Yeah. They're just like, she's weird. She just falls around like a dog. Like, I hate to say it, but she's just like running after him when he runs into that place when he smashes the front of that store to get all those weapons after they leave that place. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, they leave that place in the Cadillac, and she's like, oh, where are we going? And he's like, we're going shopping.
Yeah, we're going shopping. Yeah, that's the best line of the whole movie.
Yeah. So,
I love that. I was like, oh, that's good.
And and so this is more stuff that doesn't need to happen, because they go in, he ram raids a military supply, like what do you call it? One of those places, like a surplus store.
Yeah, in America.
So he's like goes in, and he's taken like
rocket launchers, like submachine guns.
Yeah, and like frogman suit and military vests and all the stuff that you need.
Sleeping bag, like every rifle.
Sleeping bag, just in case he has to have a nap.
I know, it was
Yeah,
so
so
over the
it's like
sleeping bag.
ridiculous.
And then the cops just bust him, right? Like, it's like
Oh
this
yeah,
huge buildup, and then
yeah, that's right. And while he's robbing the store, he gets busted, and you're like, "Oh, this is amazing! Like, what's happening now? How
yeah,
can he be busted? Like, this is the movie over? Is it? Is
yeah,
he?
he's in the back of that police
He's in the
like
paddy wagon, getting
paddy
driven away." And of course,
his
here
watch
we
just
go.
going down.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly. He's checking his watch. Oh man, this isn't. I can't be arrested. I got to save my daughter.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, his Cindy comes driving up to the paddy wagon, all nonchalant, waving and winking at the drivers. And then here we go. She, of all things, fires the rocket launcher at the paddy wagon that Arnold's in
I
and
know.
blows
So,
it up.
yeah. The
And
first one she shoots too is backwards. Like, that's got to be a felony
oh
right
yeah,
there.
for sure. Yeah, well, destruction of property. Well, she's already
Rocket
into
launcher.
theft.
Yeah.
Like big, huge, major robbery happens.
GTA, because that's not her car. That car she's in, but
So-
she tries to like lure the police. She tries to lure the police. She tips over a police paddy wagon. Like, that's gonna be a heavy offense.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
Like, is she wavered at the end? That's what I don't get. That's why I lost. I could not understand that part when she shot the rocket launcher. I was like, what? Does she not care about her life?
yeah. And what's the end game in this? Like, well, if
Right?
I blow up the paddy
Police cruiser,
wagon,
yeah.
surely to God, John Matrix will be fine. I mean, I don't care what happens to the two cops, but John Matrix, who's in the back of the paddy wagon, he'll be all right.
I know, he won't get a shrapnel to the spleen or anything,
Oh,
you know.
yeah, no, I mean, like that would turn him into soup. Like he'd be a milkshake in the back of that thing. But no, he just gets out. He's fine.
Yeah, the
He's
cops are like all dazed, but still, like, they're not dead, but like they were
Yeah.
killing a police officer. You'll never see the light of day again.
Yeah, but it's fine. They're
Mhm.
okay. And so plot moving forward, they get back in the Cadillac and the dead black guy's Cadillac. And drive to the dock where apparently there might be a seaplane.
Yeah, is that what they're after now? Is the
Yeah, that's what it is, because that's the refueling station for seaplanes, right? So because she knows all about that because she's a stewardess. So right, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But like shooting at them, or do they get into? Isn't someone shooting at them while they get into that plane, or no?
well, yeah, because I mean, as they sneak into the dock where where all the military people are, because that's easy, because no one's guarding anything. They just sneak in, and Arnold breaks the guy's neck or whatever, and they sneak with all the guns and stuff. They're like,
Oh, yeah,
there is
yeah.
a seaplane down there,
Yeah.
and oh boy, fortunately, she's a pilot.
Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking the other plane when they take off in the other plane when she's like they're getting shot at in that other plane, isn't it? Like,
It's the same plane.
oh, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the plane, and so, but fortunately, she's a pilot as well as being a stewardess.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
a felon at this point.
Yeah, she's your regular GTA player. Like,
Oh, for
she's
sure.
GTA 5 all the way. She's rocket launcher on Main Street backwards.
Yeah, no, that's just normal. Like this is fine, and you don't ever hear any sirens or anything.
I know there's no cameras, there's no sirens, and there's no cell phones. It's the wild, like west. Really.
For sure. Yeah, there's no follow up to anything that happens.
I know. Like, no one's getting like. I know. Like, she just puts herself out there. Like, she doesn't care that she's catching all these crimes. Like, I don't get that part.
Yeah, well, I think she stopped caring pretty well right away. Upon the pushing the security guard down the stairway at the mall, I think she was like, I'm kind of enjoying this. I might as well just see how bad it can get.
Because what? Does she have the hots for him? I couldn't figure it out.
No, I don't think so.
So, right? Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that would just add more convoluted mess to the movie. We don't.
I know.
Another plot.
Pal, right? So they were just kind of pals, I felt, but it's just like she had these looks and I don't know, it's just weird.
Yeah.
But there's always the homo vibe, like while he's like, on the blow up boat or whatever in his Speedo with all those machine guns. That part's funny.
For sure. I mean, so they fly away in the seaplane. Great. Okay, how fortunate. So he's on his way. Finally, the plot's moving forward to him actually getting to
that
his
country.
daughter.
Yeah.
And literally from that point on, it devolves into like just one long shootout, basically.
Yeah, like I thought okay, like I thought like was like this the movie of the cover I've seen my whole life. I've seen the movie cover has impact on my life, right?
Hmm.
Like huge impact. I've seen the cover. I was like this looks like a Rambo rip off or something at the time, I thought, right? And it's like
Yeah,
he's all in that army gear and yeah, this is 75% of the movie is done now. And it's this only end where he puts on that clothing and I'm like, okay, finally it looks like the cover. But it took more than 75% of the rest of the movie.
I know. I know. It was all just running around,
The
trying
city.
to, yeah, running around the city, trying to figure out, like, it was like a mystery. Like, oh, look, here's a key from a hotel. Let's go to the hotel. Oh, here's a receipt. Oh, look, here's some coordinates. Oh, look, it's like, oh, God,
I know.
why? Like, this could
Like,
have been done, like, something. I mean, it couldn't have been done any other way
oh.
because that was the plot. Like, there's no other
I
way
know.
that
I didn't know this movie was gonna be that type of like story or plot. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah. No, me neither. Me
ah,
neither. I literally expected to be just dumb. Like I thought he was in that military outfit for most of the movie.
yeah. I thought it was like I thought there was like actually a military thing in the movie besides like
No,
that little battle at the end. Like I thought, like yeah, I didn't know it was a city rocket launching, like quick one liner. Kill someone in a hotel and see some chick's tits type of movie. You know what I mean? It
no,
was just like
no.
so out there. I was like, what? And then when he's finally in all that gear, I was like, I stopped it and looked at the thing, and it was like, yeah, like, a good chunk, like a little bit of the movie left, and
Oh yeah,
he's,
no. There was 20 minutes left at that point, I think, in the movie.
yeah, yeah,
And but yeah, like that's the thing. Like he gets to the island, and this is when you know, like it's just the end of the movie. They're just
hmm
gonna pan this out, pat it out to the point where the inevitable. They're not gonna let the daughter die.
no.
You
But
know,
he's like,
and
I like the part when they show him like loading it all up because
oh
I thought I wish the movie started like this and the whole movie was a shootout.
yeah,
That's
no,
what I thought I was getting into. I didn't think I
me
was getting into
too.
some sideways comedy airport bonanza,
Yeah, no,
chaos.
no kidding, no kidding. And I mean, like, it just like him that scene of him like kidding up and
Hmm.
hanging the grenades off himself and putting the black like
Yeah.
smudge all over his face and his arms and stuff. That was great. I just want a GIF of that running
Yeah, no,
continuously
yeah,
on my
totally.
desktop.
I know, that's what I thought the movie was. Like, I thought it was just an all-out, like, a Predator without the alien.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was
Totally.
Predator without the alien my whole life.
Yeah, and not, yeah.
Never told me.
Yeah, little did you know you had to like, have a breakdown of the plot to figure out like if you missed one part of that, you'd be like, "Wait, what happened? What's going on? I don't understand any of this." Because
Yeah, and I missed a chunk, man. Like I did. I didn't see the receipt. I didn't know how they got to places. I don't even know who like the people were in the country. I was so confused. And I tried to pay attention, but I was so lost.
no, I know. That's why I took 6 pages of notes because I'm just like, no, I can't just talk about this. I need to remember this stuff. There's so many people in this movie.
Yeah, and like when they plan lands and that guy's dead on there too, right? Like, and he's in that country, and like, it's just weird. Like the guy comes off, and they like those two guys are
Oh,
waiting for him. And they like see the face, and they run to the telephone booth or whatever. Like,
that's right. Yeah, that's right. That's he lands. She lands the airplane at the island where this tin pot dictator and Bennett are,
hmm
and where the coup is going to take place. Their little compound, and at that at the same point, the airplane, yeah, with the dead guy on it, that where Arnold jumped off the airplane in the beginning of the movie, it lands in the South
yeah,
America somewhere where Arnold was supposed to kill the dictator, and the
totally.
two guys waiting for him to get off the plane realize that the guy who escorted Arnold onto the plane is dead, and Arnold's not on the plane. So they phone the dictator. Finally, some
hmm
kind of
Connection.
proactive stuff starts happening, and
Yeah,
it's like, okay, let's phone the dictator guy and tell him that Arnold's not on the plane. And
yeah.
then what we've also been able to fortunately see was his daughter using her training as, John Matrix's daughter, all the times, when they're not sharing a milkshake or petting a deer, he's teaching her how to strategically break out of a makeshift jail.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like unscrews the doorknob and pries the wood that's been nailed over the window, and she's escaped. She's run off into this compound somewhere at exactly the same time as Arnold's landed, and the two guys in South America are phoning the dictator to tell them that Arnold's not on the plane. So all of these things are happening at once. So now they go and they're like, "Oh, Arnold's not on the plane. Let's go get the daughter." The daughter's Bennett goes.
The daughter's gone.
Daughter's
and he sees her running off too, right?
Yeah.
He's out of reach.
Yeah, he's really upset, and he's like, "Oh no, they don't, and they don't know what's going. They know that Arnold's coming for them, but they don't know that he's there yet." Until like 5 minutes later, when Arnold literally blows up like 8 buildings.
I know, he rolls up so hard. He just stabs that guy right away, too, at that camp or whatever, just like right to the...
Oh, yeah, no, he just starts right away. Like...
Does he have something that shoots knives, or what was that thing? Did you see that weird thing?
Yeah, those are directional mines. So they blow up in one direction. So... I think, and they were all aimed at the buildings. So, that's why the buildings all blew up, because people had set off the mines. And
nice.
Because otherwise, why would these buildings
they blow up like the biggest explosions while he runs off. And that battle wasn't even that good. Like, some of the action was okay, but it was like, just overall, it's like, this is, what a weird movie.
I know, and cramming all of that, gunfire into the last 20 minutes. And you're thinking, well, this is the payoff. This is great. At least, but the more you watch, the more you realize how ludicrous it is, because he's just literally running around with guns, one in each hand, double fisting, shooting guys as they're running at him. And it's just how many people did he kill?
Yeah, I know.
200?
He killed so many people. And they just wavered at the end, or?
Well, I mean, this is where we don't. That never pans out.
Yeah.
But he's like, oh, this machine gun's empty. Well, I'm gonna just take this guy's gun, and I'm gonna use this guy's gun now to kill 25 more guys. And he's got the M60 with and he kills 30 more guys.
Yeah, rocket launcher and a jeep full of guys and stuff.
I know, and it's just nonstop, and he's standing out in the open for the most part, shooting these guys.
It's video game style, but it's not real. Like Rambo, some of the action, it seems grounded. Most of it.
Yeah, it felt real. The action in Rambo felt as if it was slow paced. It was never that kind of just continuous machine gun fire for 15 minutes.
Yeah, no, I know. He's got the Rambo gun too, right? Doesn't he?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was the thing.
Chain-fed M6. Yeah,
and he's taking on that whole all the places, that whole town at the end, that other big building, and he's taking out so many guys. It reminds me of an old GTA game or something. You just have a machine gun and you're killing so many guys.
Well, it really it's a case of that escalated quickly, because it goes from him pulling up on the beach in a Zodiac boat to 5 minutes later, he's blowing up an entire village of buildings and stabbing people and shooting them and rocket launchering them. And it's what's going on? Is it immediately he's that
so many grenades in the courtyard and stuff. He's just tearing those guys up.
Totally. It doesn't. I mean, this guy is. He is the Terminator in this movie.
Yeah, no, he's basically the Terminator. He's unstoppable and
I mean, where this is heading, right? The whole time that you're watching this, Bennett is trying to find the daughter.
I know, he's running around like a maniac in chain metal and a knife out, and his eyes are bulging out of his head.
Yeah. So Bennett is looking for Jenny Matrix, and like he's trying to find her because he knows he has to get her because Arnold's coming and he needs, some kind of insurance that Arnold's not, whatever. Like, it's just, you know what's happening. The age-old plot, the crummy plot of 100 movies is happening now, where, he's
chasing the kid with the knife.
He's chasing the kid with the knife in the boiler room.
In the boiler room, yeah.
Right, and Arnie's looking for her. And so he's killed everyone in the whole compound. There's 150, 200 guys. They're all dead.
Yeah, no, he just sprays on these fools with the. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
If the movie started like this and this was the first half an hour, I'd probably like the movie more.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Because it's corny, but I like, if this was the movie, give me this for 45 minutes at the beginning, give me a little break, and then give me this at the end. Not give me this in the last 20 minutes of this movie. The horrorless build-up, I understand build-up and payoffs, but it's like, the build-up for this was just trash.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's not, maybe at the time when it was made, people and he's not that good of an actor at this point.
No, he is.
Carry off the whole mystery part in the beginning, and he had the same delivery of every line. It
looked like he'd never seen a map before in his life.
Yeah, totally.
That's the vibe I got. I was like,
yeah, no kidding. But yeah, so he's killed everyone. He's killed the Tin Pot Dictator. He's killed all the subordinates. And now the only guy that's left, it's old Bennett there with his string vest on, hiding in the boiler room, looking for Jenny Matrix.
Kid or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, so it's the big final showdown that we're waiting for. This is like, oh my God, this is going to be great.
He grabs her. Doesn't he? He gets her with the knife around her again. I remember.
Yeah, and he has Jenny and the knife's around her neck, and Arnold's there looking at him like they're like, oh, this is it, the big showdown. And Arnold just taunts him.
He gets shot though, right? Right away, actually.
Yeah, he's shot in the leg.
I think arm, shoulder.
Oh, is it the arm? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, shoulder. Yeah, he's because remember, he's all fight me with your bare hands type of thing.
That's the thing. He taunts him, you don't want to shoot me with one bullet. You want to fight me with your bare hands because, this Bennett guy is mad at Arnold for, I can't even remember.
Right? That's what I didn't know. I know they're so serious and overacted, but why did he hate him?
Well, there was just so much other nonsense plot that I missed. Something to do with maybe something to do with Bennett losing money or something because of the dictator that got overturned, and that's why he's taking he's just something to do with that anyway. So bad acting Bennett throws the daughter, pushes the daughter off to the side, throws the gun away, and is like, okay, I'll fight you with a knife. And so they have the knife
out. The knife battle at the end was kind of cool.
I guess, but all this build up for a knife fight in a boiler room.
I know.
Holy cow!
His name, Freddy Krueger, missed out on that. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. It's just, and they're just, of course, they're yapping to each other the whole time, about how one guy's tougher than the other, and I'm gonna make you pay, and.
Yeah, the movie was a whole bunch of macho, but not the good, the Rambo had it, but not really. This movie's way over the top.
Oh, well, for sure. It was silly, and we knew what was going to happen, but and there's the stupid knife fight, and then Arnold Schwarzenegger throws a pipe at him.
Yeah, or he gets electrocuted too. That was
gets electrocuted. Bennett gets electrocuted, and then Arnold Schwarzenegger throws a drainage pipe at him.
Yeah. What does he say? Let off some steam, Bennett.
Because the pipe went through Bennett and into the boiler, and steam was coming out of the end of the pipe. Let off some steam.
Yeah.
Oh my God! All of that. I watched an hour and 25 minutes of this to get to this point.
Yeah, no, I couldn't believe, like, I was just like, yeah, like, that guy fighting him, too, like, it was just, some of the worst.
It was the worst.
But it's entertaining and corny, but I've watched it once, I'm glad I finally saw it. Like, how many years has this movie been out and I haven't seen it? But I seen the cover, like I said, and yeah, the cover is way misleading compared to what the movie is.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the movie's called Commando. At no point during this movie do you think, like, oh, Arnold Schwarzenegger, yeah, he's going commando. When?
No, when? Yeah, never.
End.
Yeah, but like the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, and it's like, when did he type in all the cheat codes so he didn't get shot or take any gun damage in that last battle? Like, who were this tin pot dictator who had all these soldiers? They were the worst soldiers in the world. Like, they couldn't shoot anybody.
I know, it was so bad.
They had him trapped in a shed. In a shed, a 10 by 10 shed. They knew he was in the shed, and they emptied, like, 5 guys emptied their guns into the shed, and then opened the door, and Arnold Schwarzenegger was, like, hanging onto the rafters and just kicked him in the head. I'm like, they missed him. He was trapped in a shed. These guys couldn't kill a guy in a box.
I know, it was so bad. And just the ending, like when the planes roll up and that colonel or whoever's there.
Oh, yeah. But that's the thing, is it just ends. They kill, Bennett gets killed. Arnold hugs Jenny Matrix and is like, oh, I'm glad you're not dead or whatever.
Yeah.
Nonsense. And then all you see is the military pulling up to the island and him walking to the beach.
Sydney jumps out or whatever.
Yeah. And then Arnold's walking towards the float plane with his daughter, and you know the major is there, and he's like, oh, how many people did you leave me? And he's like, oh, none or whatever. It's like, yeah, it's just, and then you get the idea that Arnold, his daughter, and Cindy are just gonna fly away.
I know, and what, like fly away, like they don't get charged, like no one's worried about their.
No one wants there's no debriefing. It's
right?
Like, Arnold, what happened? There's a bunch of dead guys over there. Whatever.
Yeah. I know, no debriefing, like I know, no, oh, just that's what it takes me out of the movie too much with that. I was just like,
well, they did fly away at the end because they showed the plane taking off. The last, as the credits were rolling, the plane's flying away.
Who knows where? Yeah.
Well, and this is the thing, and this is what bothered me. This was the one thing at the end that bothered me, was that she said that the plane refuels there, and when the plane, where she knew the plane was refueling, the plane can fly for 2 hours on the fuel that it can hold for that size of a plane. So they flew for 2 hours to that island, and then she waited in the harbor for Arnold while he went in and shot everybody. And then at the end, they just took off in the plane. The plane's out of gas. Because she said the plane holds enough fuel to fly for 2 hours. And it took 2 hours for them to get there. Where are they flying away to? When did she refuel the plane?
Yeah,
so
no,
I'm just like, well, they just gave up. They're like,
yeah,
well,
that's
whatever.
Plot hole in Commando.
Yeah, and I'm worried about a plot hole in this movie.
So overall, would you prefer Rambo over Commando?
Come on, Rambo over Commando any day of the week. Any day of the week. And this gets a 6.7 on IMDb out of 10. And then that's generally a higher, like that's pushing a 7.
I want to check what Rambo is quickly.
Yeah, and I mean that's people reviewing
7.7 for First Blood.
Well, yeah, so it's a whole single point difference, but yeah, that makes more sense. Because 6, 7,
it's almost an 8. I would agree. First Blood is almost an 8.
Yeah, for sure. I would agree with that. But yeah, this movie, it's like if you haven't seen it and you want to watch a dumb, convoluted early 80s Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, sure, go for it. But if you want to watch a movie where you're watching some really interesting plot and character development, this is not the movie to watch.
No, No, it falls flat in that department, and it just is weird. It reminds me like like I said, it reminds me of like a bad written level in a game or something. Like it's just.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, if this was a video game, it would be fine because
Mhm.
everything would be explained to you,
Mhm.
and you'd be able to go into a menu or something and reread where you need to go and look on a map and
Mhm.
but in this it just doesn't make sense. Like the
Mhm.
progression of the plot just is it's shoehorned in and hammered hard because if any situation in this movie, like if there was no receipt in that Cadillac, movie's over.
Mhm.
Movie's over. That's it.
Mhm.
It ends right there.
Right? Yeah.
If Sully got away, movie's over.
Mhm. Mhm.
Any little tiny thing that happens, he didn't, movie's over.
Totally.
So all the things went right for Arnold Schwarzenegger, or pardon me, John Matrix in
Mhm.
this movie. I mean, that's a really Austrian name too. It's
And
John.
John Rambo, like they tried to copy Rambo, right?
Well, I don't think anyone on Earth has the last name Matrix.
No, I know. That's way before the Matrix, the movie, right? Like,
Well, it's just I don't know. It doesn't make sense, but it is what it is. We sat down and watched it, and for people that like this kind of thing, this
oh
is the
yeah,
kind of thing that those people are gonna like.
yeah. Like I said, I've seen the movie cover for years. The cover had an impact on my life because I always thought it was Predator without the aliens. It
Mhm.
is definitely not Predator without the aliens.
No, definitely not.
I'd say Arnold like would watch that, but that's pretty good. Like he doesn't have one-liners really in Predator. It's more of a serious take.
Yeah,
I
yeah, for
like that.
sure. Yeah,
But yeah, overall, like you said, see it if you haven't see it if you like to watch an Arnold movie, right? Like
exactly. I mean,
especially in
that's
'80s, a new one of his first ones, right?
yeah, and see how early Arnold compares to now Arnold, because
Mm-hmm.
now, I mean, he's actually when he's acting on the screen, you can't tell he's acting.
Mm-hmm.
In this movie, it was
Mm-hmm.
just like
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
his delivery was just completely flat.
you know,
Every line is
so
just
bad,
flat.
so ridiculous. But we watched it and we talked about it for an hour, so
My
that's
God.
pretty decent, I think. Hey,
Yeah, I think
but
so.
yeah, see it if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, everyone, thank you for listening to another podcast. Yeah, this podcast was a little long. We talked about, Commando for like an hour, but I'm really happy with that. I kind of wanted this podcast to be about 2 hours when I started it, but it was just so hard by myself to do that. Talk 2 hours straight. It's a little. Yeah, it's a little tough. So, it's so awesome to have Grubgun joining me. I hope you like his opinions, and yeah, I think he's a good addition to the channel. We have some fun together. We can talk for hours and talk about all this stuff, and yeah, different opinions, different sides, different a little bit, definitely age gap by like 10 years, so we kind of see things differently, and yeah, we love a lot of the same stuff, and yeah, I think it's really good. Thank you for anyone from his community jumping on my channel, and yes, thank you to every one of my people from the pod jumping on his page and checking his channel out. All his social medias and YouTube links will be down below, so give him a follow. And yeah, we're just gonna try to help each other grow in 2020. And yeah, like I said, haven't put out much content as I usually do. It really sucks. I know there's been a couple new things with COPA and the FTC, and things aren't looking as doom and gloom, but we won't really know. A lot of change, and yeah, I'd like to get back in the swing of things, making some more Transformers video, maybe bringing back some pickups videos, a whole bunch of things planned for next year. Just trying to wait it out, but yeah, probably a couple things out soon. Podcasts, I'd like to get on them regular. The last one was a little while ago. I'd like to continue getting these out sooner now that they're much easier to just record. And yeah, bring you guys some more content. The podcast will always be around. Lots of other stuff planned for next year. I'm just trying to work on my health, trying to work on everything like that. But thanks again for listening. Tons of stuff. I'd like to have some more Transformers news in the next podcast and some stuff like that, so stay tuned as always. Thanks for listening. Drop a comment, drop a like, share the podcast, help it grow. yeah, it'd be really awesome. 2020, hoping big things for the channel and other social medias and stuff like that. Just trying to grow and see where we can take this all. So, yeah, that's really cool. Trying to hit that 1,500 subscribers. So if you're new on the channel, please give a sub, and tons of stuff coming out planned for next year. As always, your favorite dolphin. Take care of yourself. Don't let the Christmas season stress you out too much and all that good stuff. Remember, it's not about the gifts. Better just to have a good dinner with your family and friends or whoever you celebrate it with. And yeah, take care. As always, stay strong, stay safe, stay positive. And this dolphin might even catch you up on that flip side, y'all.